Hey, it's your boy Broski. Yandere Dev. The man's ugly. He can never show his face most of the time, and he cannot keep up with a single project. It's sad. That has a lot more in common with me than I'd like to admit, but I digress. Now, Neckbeard Linguini is not a very good person. Objectively speaking, he's a pretty awful man, and, well, that's not very new information. Now, false copyright strikes are probably one of the 7 deadly sins of YouTube, and doing them purposely, especially to a smaller channel than you that you know can't fight back legally or financially, that's pretty shitty. Now that is something we'll get to later. Yandere Dev, he just loves to push this narrative that he's a very, very hardworking man, that he spends hours of his day working on Yandere Simulator, and in that same breath, he not only actively complains more than you see him actually develop the game, but he also actively spends thousands of dollars of his own money that could have been spent on his game trying to silence other people, criticizing his game, mind you. And he also wastes his time trying to do that exact same thing. The example here being what he did to Game Sleuth, copyright striking his channel and threatening to take it down completely. Yes, the strikes were false. My man's actually tried to pull a Suzy Lou. SMH my head. He bought a subreddit for $3,000, $3,000, because he saw hate in it that he didn't like. That is $3,000 that he could have used on the game that he spent 6 years making. $1,000 you could have spent on coding classes to actually learn how to, reasonably make a video game. $3,000 you could have spent paying for somebody else to code his fucking video game. But no. Now, by now, this man has reached official clown status. I mean, here's your card. Now, seeing the internet churn this guy, especially now of all times, is extremely satisfying because all this time, he just seemed to keep on winning, right? Now, you could say that he's, overall a massive loser, and you'd be right, but this man, he managed to silence anybody who he wants to be silenced, right? He managed to, buy the subreddit. He got a game developer to cancel development on another Yandere game, Watashi no Moto, right? By threatening suicide, or heavily implying it at least. And he also, managed to silence Game Sleuth and practically ruin his livelihood. Thankfully, 2 developers, I think one of them is named Dr. Apius, they're creating a game called The Love Letter to fill that niche, so there isn't a reason to support Yandere Dev anymore, but they don't really like being compared to Yandere Dev, and I don't blame them. I wouldn't want to either, so I'm going to avoid talking about that. There are also massive YouTubers like Mudahar and Scarce that are reporting on the situation, so that's also great to hear. Now, back to why I made this video in the first place, the Game Sleuth. His channel, so he was forced to, he actually deleted this video recently, but it was about him being forced to delete his Yandere Dev videos because Yandere Dev had 2 strikes on his channel, right? Through copyright, and 1 more, and his channel would have been gone completely, right? And his newest videos were in a way very disturbing because that they were not genuine in the slightest. They were apologies. It was basically saying, oh, I was wrong, Yandere Dev, he's not that bad. I was just a false news channel reporting fake news like Fox or CNN, and Yandere Dev, his nose isn't even that big, and he's so handsome his dick's massive. I assume you get the point. It's starting to get to a place where it's too much for Yandere Dev to handle, right? Just the sheer backlash and hate that he's getting, especially recently. And I theorize that this is a product of that. He's going through even greater lengths to silence his criticism, and ironically, in doing so, is making his situation worse. And that's kind of funny. Actually, that's really funny. Funny enough for me to end the video. Thanks for watching. If you're new, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, or don't. My channel's kind of dead anyways. And as always, have a nice day. Sleep well. Eat some good food. Drink some water, by the way. You don't want to have kidney stones. And as always, goodbye, broski.